Global EV bike maker Ultraviolette has secured $45 million as part of its ongoing Series E round. The latest infusion comes from Zoho Corporation and Lingotto, which is one of Europe's largest investment management companies. Now, the company says this growth capital is going to accelerate the domestic and international scale-up of current products, F77 and X47, and future product platforms, Shockwave and Tesseract. Ultraviolette is now present in 30 cities across India and plans to expand to 100 cities by mid next year. For more on their growth plans ahead, joining me now is Narayan Subramanian, co-founder and CEO of Ultraviolette. Narayan, thanks very much for your time here on CNBC-TV18. You've got this $45 million in this ongoing Series E round. One, what does this mean for your valuation? And two, also, when will you close this round at what kind of levels?
Oh, thank you, Ritu. I think while it's great news for us, it's going to, like you mentioned, scale our growth across the current and the future platforms. When it comes to the topic of valuation, see, we've been in this to build compelling products. We've established the motorcycle business in our firm way. We're entering more mass-oriented segments like the scooter and the Shockwave coming up in 2026. And perhaps looking at an IPO scenario in the next 18 to 24 months. And from where we are today, I think that would be the right time to get into details around the valuation. But very good to see continued support in our vision towards building world-class mobility solutions.
Okay, Narayan, you're saying an IPO is what you're considering in the next 18 to 24 months. So could you give us a sense of what kind of milestones you want to achieve before you do that? And the investors that may be seeking exits, I mean, what can you tell us about these plans? I know it's a little early, but what can you tell us?
Of course. So most of our investors, I think all of them, in fact, are in it for the long run. They've been backing the company through multiple phases, right from inception towards the scale that we are at today. And when it comes to working backwards from an IPO, what we believe in is having a very strong, robust business, both in India and overseas markets. And in that regard, we've taken a top-down approach. We started with more performance-oriented segments, like the F77 and the X47, that took us about 8 years of R&D. But the advantage that it's built into the brand today is the fact that we vertically integrated all of the core EV subsystems. We make our own battery packs. We make our own BMS modules. We make the vehicle control unit, the charging technology, the controllers, the softwares, all of it. So in essence, what we've built is an organization that is geared up for profitability. And we've taken the approach of building for profitability first and scale second. And today we're at that transition point where the last year plus has seen our growth in the motorcycle space. And starting 2026, we will enter into the mass-oriented segments. So if I was to think back 24 months from a potential IPO scenario, we would like to have an established business across the entire spectrum of two-wheelers operating in a well-oiled, robust way in India. We're already in Europe now. In 2025, June, July, we launched in Europe, and now we're retailing in 10 countries across Europe. And the good news is that the certification for Europe, while it took us a little over a year to get the certification in place, the hardware is the same as what we've launched in India. The vehicle goes out from here with no changes. But the benefit is that with the Europe certification, it opens up 40 countries for us across the world. So we will be looking at strong domestic and international growth, and of course, be close to EBITDA break-even before we look at an IPO scenario.
All right, that's quite the comprehensive response you've given us there, Narayan. Lots to digest. But a quick word on these launches, and you were talking about the European market. The X47 crossover motorcycle you've launched in India. One, how soon before you ready it for the European markets, and two, the F77 is now in European countries already. Are you looking to ramp up production for both of these? I mean, what's the plan from here on?
Sure. Yes, the F77 launched first in India, now it is already in Europe.
Yeah.
The platforms are quite common between the two motorcycles. We share the same battery, VCU, and the motor control systems across both of these products. So certification for the X47 for global markets is currently underway. And with the X47 crossover, like the name suggests, it sort of caters to multiple segments of two-wheelers, right from street motorcycles to roadsters, to off-road motorcycles. And the interesting fact is, we're also seeing a lot of electric scooter owners now upgrade to electric motorcycles. Right? So now with this in mind, we are seeing vastly increased demand as well across the country. let me also tell you that in the last 12 months, we've gone from one city, which was Bengaluru, the home city, to now 35 locations across the country. So we've been having production and distribution scale up with the product portfolio ramping up as well. So yes, the X47 should launch in Europe, I think before mid 2026.
Okay, so sometime next year you'll have the X47 in Europe as well. A quick word, Narayan, running out of time. Shockwave and Tesseract, what can you tell us about the timeline for these and the kind of product pipeline you have with these platforms?
So Shockwave and Tesseract, highly compelling products. The Shockwave addresses a more of an entry level and a dirt motorcycle market. It's going to be a lot of fun from college students to experienced dirt motorcyclists. Tesseract, of course, is a scooter. We have designed arguably the world's most advanced scooter, comes in with radars, cameras, and a whole host of technology. And not to mention that we are outputting over double or close to 3 times the power output of benchmark scooters in India from an electric scooter market standpoint, and significantly more range. As well, we've spoken about range on a single charge going from 160 to 260 kilometers. So we're breaking a lot of barriers in both of these segments. Both of these are also in a very advanced stage of development and testing at our end. And we should be looking at launching them in series sometime through mid 2026.
All right. You're also expanding to 100 Indian cities by mid next year. I mean, lots of targets you've set for yourself, including EBITDA break-even by next year. You're also aggressively entering Europe. Just tell us how you're going to balance the economics of scaling here in India at the level that you're talking about with the brand building opportunities in these global premium markets you're eyeing. And outside of Europe, is there any plan at all?
Right. So, like you said, Europe is a motorcycle enthusiast market. If you look at how vehicles have evolved, it's been parts of Japan, parts of Europe and US where motorcycling culture has evolved. So very important market for us, sets the right benchmark for the brand in various parts of the world as well. And the fact that we're now certified in 40 countries opens up markets in Southeast Asia, Latin America and parts of US as well. And these are the markets that we would subsequently be targeting, along with active, aggressive ramp up across India. So we are in 35 locations now. We're targeting expanding to about 100 locations through 2026.
All right. Finally, let me ask you, since you brought up the IPO as well, and you're talking about an EBITDA break-even. Currently, you're at 36 crores in revenues, 116 crores in losses, as per your last reported figures of FY25. How's FY26 shaping up so far? Will you be, break-even by the end of this fiscal, or what can you tell us about the next year or so?
So, see, for us, 2025 was a very, very strong year in terms of building the technology, building scale and distribution. And we talk about losses, but in fact, let me also address that. There's more of expense going back into R&D. It's expense going into international certification, international testing. So it is setting us up for the long run. It is not losses in the typical dictionary meaning of the word losses. It is investment towards the future growth of the company. And through 2026, we're targeting operational break-even, and through 2027 is where we will be looking at EBITDA break-even.
All right, Narayan, we'll leave it at that, and we wish you the best with these plans. It's been a pleasure having you here on Startup Street. Thanks very much for your time.